Hi, Stefan Swartling here from Swartling Network. I have already many times done videos about that I think Apple will do an ARM-based MacBook. Here is just one example of a video that I've done talking about ARM-based Macs. But now the KGI analyst Min-Chi Kuo has done a report that says that we can already later this year or maybe next year see an ARM-based Mac. In a table from him we can clearly see that Apple is planning an A9X chip for the iPad and Mac already in 2015 and also an A10X for the iPad and Mac in 2016. And I have many times said that I think the rumored 12-inch iPad Pro and the rumored 12-inch MacBook Air is the same device. I think there is a chance that this new leaked MacBook Air 12-inch we have seen some renderings of could be ARM-based. There is a chance for that. And maybe that device will not be released until later this year, this fall maybe, or even in 2016. And these new ARM-based chips will be as fast as a low-end MacBook Air and Intel i3 or so, and maybe even faster. And that is not so important really, because if this new device will run on a form of iOS operating system, then the performance will be more than enough. Look at the iPad Air 2 for example, how fast it is, what a performance it has. And that is because iOS is much easier to run than OS X, OS X. So if a new kind of device that looks like a MacBook Air, 12-inch MacBook Air, will have an A9X or maybe even an A10X ARM-based processor, it will have more than enough of performance, I'm sure of that. It will be very powerful to run on some kind of iOS operating system. And as I've said many times before, it doesn't have to be a Microsoft Surface-like device. It could be more like a MacBook Air, where you have the keyboard attached to the display, so you don't have a detachable keyboard. And this device will be ARM-based and running iOS, because Apple has a patent of a even more smart touchpad that will navigate an operating system in a new, innovative way. So I think that new touchpad is this new clickless touchpad we have seen in these renders of the 12-inch MacBook Air. I think that new touchpad will have some features to navigate in iOS and using apps in a new, different way. If that's the case, we don't need to reach for the display to navigate in the operating system and using apps and so on. So this will be much more ergonomic to use a touchpad to navigate in iOS. And if not this 12-inch MacBook Air this year will be ARM-based and running on iOS, I'm sure we will see that next time, maybe in 2016 or 2017. Because I think Apple will release a new device that can replace the low-end or maybe mid-range MacBook Airs. And I think it could be awesome to have all the iPad apps running on a 12-inch MacBook Air. It will be awesome to have my favorite apps like Editorial, iMovie, Aura and so on. And I think we will see also more Apple apps, desktop apps released for iOS like Final Cut Pro X or Logic Pro and so on for iOS. So it will be running on iPad Air, high-end iPad Airs, and these new kinds of device, the MacBook Air, ARM-based MacBook Air. I think that in the future. Okay, so once again you have my thoughts about this ARM-based MacBook Air. I hope you like it. I will link to one of many articles about this new rumor from KGI. This time I will link to an Apple Insider post about this. The MacBook Air running on an ARM-based chip. I will link to this in the description text below. Go check it out. Okay, bye!